everybody. Happy New Week. Hope you're doing well. And looks like the weather's finally turning back to becoming a bit warmer here after that Arctic blast that we had the last 3 or 4 days. So, brand new week, and new intentions, new goals, all that sort of stuff happening over at this end. So, this week I thought we would talk a little bit about the working hours of an entrepreneur or a person, obviously who starts out in business. And what does that look like? Why does it look that way? What to expect? And how does it alter and change over time? So this is coming from me having been in business now coming close to 10 and a half years and having seen few different stages of what's required and how much effort and time and what does life really look like at these various different stages. Good morning, Leslie. Great to see you on Monday Morning Live. So, working hours of an entrepreneur. So, there is obviously different stages in business that we go through. There's that startup stage or the infancy stage, the adolescence stage, and then of course, adulthood or mastery stage that we go through. And of course, that initial stage can be super, super exciting, and we can also call that honeymoon stage. So either you can call it the honeymoon stage, the startup stage, or infancy. I think they have each of those have different meanings because honeymoon is you're super excited and it's brand new and it's like you put so much energy into it and action and all that sort of stuff. Infancy could mean you don't know what you don't know. You're quite incompetent at it, and of course at a startup, the fact that it's just the beginning. So you could take different meanings out of each of those, and what it looks like. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a description as I look back in hindsight through my journey and why things took as long as they did at certain times. Good morning, Lindy. Nice to see you as well. And so go through those three different stages, and I kind of have bracketed them in 0 to 3 years, 3 to 7 years, and then 7 years plus. Okay, so of course there'd be more years and all that sort of stuff, but I think the most major things that would happen in our life cycle, say, of a business, especially in those first 10 years. I mean, we all know the statistics, how many businesses fail in the first 12 months, and then after 3 years, after 7, and all that sort of stuff. And if you make it kind of to the 10-year mark, most likely you will, tend to stay on unless you choose to move on and sell your business or do something different. Good morning, Shelley. Great to have you as well. All right, so let's talk about the first stage and what to expect and why it looks the way it does. So the first stage, we said it was the honeymoon stage, the startup or the infancy stage of a business, and it's 0 to 3 years. Okay, now that might sound really a long time, but a lot of stuff happens in this stage. And just like we know, the rocket takes a lot of energy to get off the ground to go into space, so does a brand new business. And the working hours of this of an entrepreneur in 0 to 3 years in their business is kind of really hectic and manic. And I'll explain why. Okay, so I've written some notes here. First of all, you're alone generally in this when you start out. You're just there with your idea, and you are in this launch mode, like the rocket is. And so, what normally happens when people start in a business, they generally have been working in a day job or maybe have never run a business before. Therefore, they actually don't have much of a network. So a lot of our time gets sucked up by going to networking events, connecting with people, building relationships, which is very, very time consuming, right? But you have to do it because you need to meet people, you need to learn from others, and you need to make the right connections of people that are going to help you, or perhaps how you're going to connect and find business for your business, generate new opportunities. So networking is a big part of what brand new startups should be doing, and to build the awareness around who they are, what they do, and of course to seek out people that can help them as well on this journey. All right, the second thing that happens 0 to 3 years, not in every, look, this is not obviously relevant to every single person that starts out in business. You know, some people may have run a business before, so they might go through this infancy stage a lot faster. But I'm kind of taking it from the perspective, like I'm just going back on my journey, and I came from an employee, had never run a business before, first time business owner. Let's kind of frame it under that, or want to be entrepreneur, right? So no network, so you got to spend a lot of time networking. Number two, no techie skills, right? Obviously, if you've worked for someone else, they may have had their technology and IT sorted and you knew their systems, but all of a sudden on your own, you know, you need to figure out how to do and what are some of these tools that are available to you that you can use, and how do you use them? So that's time consuming, right? That's where a lot of massive time spent on learning technology and new techie tools, yeah, apps and this and that, you know, so you can run more efficient, more effective, and you know, be set up and build your own systems within your own within this new business, right? So a lot of time goes into networking, a lot of time goes into learning technology. Now the other thing is poor mindset. Okay, so you need to work on ourselves and our own limiting beliefs. So especially if you're a first time business owner, what happens is that you may have come from an employee mindset, and now you need to move into an entrepreneur mindset, which is a really big shift and change of how you need to think about yourself, your worth, your value, and a lot of limiting beliefs can reside there from your subconscious mind, holding you back from you know, going after your goals and all that kind of stuff. So working on your mindset and having a coach and figuring out stuff about getting to know yourself, because business is one of the biggest personal development journeys that you will ever go on. So that takes a bit of soul searching, if you like, and you know, discovering, you know, who you are and what you're really capable of. So working on your mindset and overcoming those limiting beliefs is still going to require some time, effort, self-reflection, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. The other thing that you're doing a lot of in these 0 to 3 years is learning actually how to run a business. You know, what what are all the different components of a business? You know, from admin to bookkeeping to customer service to systems to you know, different programs. As I said, you know, you're actually learning. You know, what is the secret of business? Hey Mo and Janine, sorry. Great to see you guys. So you're learning all of that, you know, how to actually run a business, you know, what is actually all of the different things that fit this puzzle. So you're getting yourself educated. It's not about just what you're selling, but what is it that you you know, how do you run a business? The next one is you're testing and measuring a lot of the time. You're testing this offer, this you know, potential ad. You know, you put out, you know, you package this in this way. You put out a different program, especially if you're in the space of intellectual property, and the people that I talk to often are experts in their own field, and have a lot of intellectual property behind which they release programs and things like that. So you've got to test and measure which programs and what offers work really best for you. So it takes a lot of time to test and measure and go through all of those different things to figure out what is your signature thing. You're going through a lot of no's because you're not really a you know, an amazing salesperson. You know, no one was born an amazing salesperson, right? Some people can have that sort of personality and flair about them, but still, you know, you got to go through to figure out you know, how to run your own sales conversations. So therefore, how do you do that? Well, you got to hit a lot of no's before you get to the yeses. So you are definitely exerting a lot more energy in seeking out business and getting to your yeses over the no's. Yeah. Also, where we spend a lot of time in these 0 to 3 years is saying yes to every opportunity. And why do we do this? Is because we actually don't have the awareness or the wisdom to know what is a good opportunity and what is a waste of time. Okay, so we and actually, you know, I would advise everyone do exactly that. Say yes to everything. Then you'll figure out in the future what you say yes and no to, and then be a little bit more selective. But in the beginning, you say yes to everything because it gives you the experience and the wisdom down the track of what to avoid, right? Um, and the other thing that can may happen in those 0 to 3 years as well, you may still be working in your day job. Yeah, you may still be working your day job. I certainly did for the first 13 months out of those first 3 years. And I was juggling going to seminars and reading books and learning technology and going out networking. And so everything that I've just listed for you guys that may be happening in the 0 to 3 years, those are very time consuming parts of what you need to be doing, but they're necessary. They're the foundations you got to build of what's to come past the 3 years, which is we're moving into the adolescence period of business. Yeah. So, what do the working hours look like in summary of someone who's 0 to 3 years in the business? Well, it's on all the time, on, out and about. You get up, you learn every spare moment you're spending learning. Someone inquires within your business, interested. If it's Christmas Day, you take the freaking call on Christmas Day. If it's the weekend, if it's late at night, you just do it. You say yes to everything, and there's just no switch off button. Yeah. Now you might choose, well, no, I won't do that. I want balance and all that kind of stuff. That's okay. You can have balance, but just then you might estimate that those 0 to 3 years might extend to 5 or 6 years if you span it out over a longer period of time. Okay, so it's completely up to you what you say and yes or no to. But from my own experience, the price that I paid, and one of my favorite quotes that I always bring back up is that I read, and I find it's so true, is that entrepreneurs will live a few years of their life like most people won't, so they can live the rest of their lives like most people can't. And those first few years are those 0 to 3 years, to live like most people won't, to give up on your luxuries, to give up on your social life, to have that sole focus. I mean, all I ate, slept, and talked about was business, and I did not know anything else. I actually did not watch TV at all, not Netflix, not shows, not a moment of like entertainment for those first 3 years. I thought it was for that moment in my life, I had this belief that it was the biggest waste of time, and instead I could be reading or learning or educating myself and filling my head with value that would then pay back for itself in time. Yeah. So it's always on. You start to wonder if life is always going to be like this. It can feel really, really overwhelming, and as if you're stuck in this place where it's just like you can't stop, but you really need to make it work. Okay. So and that's exactly what I did. I just said yes to everything, to every opportunity, went to every event, talked to every person that would want to talk to me, and connected with people on social media, and I was on all the time, and it was crazy. Yeah. And tested and measured a lot of different things. Okay, so where it starts to get a little bit easier, let's move on to the next stage, and that is the adolescent stage. And that is the 3 to 7 years in business. And this is where you might get some help. Okay, you're not completely alone. You might decide to hire a virtual assistant or someone that is going to support you in the business so you can focus on the most important things that you got to do. So you've set up some systems, some of the things that are working for you, and therefore you can outsource and delegate some of the stuff to someone else. So you get a little bit of a breather. Now, definitely a great time to do at this stage is to outsource your admin. I mean, you could do that earlier. I'm just kind of giving you guys a very broad overview of what things look like. I probably could have hired a VA like after 2 years, but I didn't. Probably after, I think it was 4.5 years in for me when I hired. But I had Stuart who quit his day job at 2.5 years in. So I had like Stuart come in at say the 3 year mark, who I wasn't alone any longer. So you can outsource your admin so you can focus on the most important things because you're the face of your business. You're the one that's going to generate the sales because people buy people. Yeah. So they're going to want to talk to you. So you need to be free for that. Okay. So you're still out and about. You should still be continuing to network. And however, this time the networking should be more tweaked with the intention to look for opportunities to speak at events. Okay, so to add value to groups of people. So rather than just networking to be there just as the participant, where you're just, kind of maybe doing a 60-second pitch or whatever it is, now it's like looking for opportunities, building relationships to go to places and actually deliver a 20-minute, a 30-minute talk to groups. And because by this stage, you should have built all your relationships over the 3 years, and you should actually start to get being asked by people who you have a high rapport with to be the next presenter at the next event. So looking for those kind of things, which continues to build greater awareness faster, because you're no longer like being able to connect with one or two people at events, because you're just sitting at the table or next to each other. All of a sudden, by being the keynote speaker, you can connect, and 30 or to 50 people find out about who you are and what you do, so your awareness spreads. Yeah. So stop doing what didn't work, or not as much. So what you stop doing at this stage is you figure out what didn't work and where you were wasting a lot of time. You start to declutter and stop doing those things. Your mindset by this stage generally is fairly strong, and you should be able to self-coach yourself through tough times, because it's still going to be up and down. It's not going to be always like, absolutely amazing. There's going to be always challenges, in business. It's not, you're never going to overcome every single thing and it's going to be smooth sailing forever, right? However, you may be stuck doing a lot of one-to-one. Okay, at this stage, you might feel like, oh my God, there's not lack of business. People are wanting me. I'm getting a lot of referrals, but I'm stuck at this one-to-one where I don't know how to transition so I can scale my business even greater and move to a one-to-many model. Okay, so it can become really draining and exhausting if you're continuing to do the one-on-one, but that's where you're probably spending a lot of your time, right? And you may have systems, but maybe not a ton. Like, you still need to build a lot more. But building a lot more of those systems over the 3 to 7 year period, that should help you then transition to the one-to-many model, which is really well, set up, and it's got all the different departments of what things are being done within your business. So, at this particular stage, between 3 to 7 years, working hours of an entrepreneur, what did that look like? Well, there is a little bit more boundaries that you can set. However, you are definitely still probably working really long hours doing a one-on-one. You may choose to put a bit more, like, I'm not going to take a day on call on a Christmas day and have a little bit more of a routine. And what does your year look like? Like in the 0 to 3 years, your year could be quite messy. Like, you're going to do this, and you're making decisions at a whim, saying yes to everything and all that. Whereas within 3 to 7 years, you might be flexible. However, you have more of a plan. Okay, and you're executing that plan as it goes along, but you need to build more systems, and you need to write your intellectual property. This is the stage when it's perfect to write that book. And even though I say book should come right from the beginning, because that's the start of that intellectual property. So for me, my passion of helping people do their books so early on in their businesses is because I know this is where they're going to get stuck if they haven't done it for 3 to 5 years in their business. At least the book starts the systems and the build up of intellectual property and what you do and how you help people, what's your signature thing, from much earlier on. Then, so you're doing more advanced strategies earlier on so you can get there a lot faster. That's the whole thinking behind it. Yeah. So, you may have quit your day job and now you're self-reliant. So really at this stage, 3 to 7 years, really there's a rocket up your bum to make it work. Yeah, absolutely. You're fending for yourself, and this is what happened for us. As I said, Stuart quit his job at 2.5 years in. And since then we were like on our own, and there's just absolutely, if you need to put in the hours, if things have slowed down and you're kind of in a moment of, oh my God, I don't know when the next income's going to, come through. You need to work through those weekends. You need to work through, put in the extra hours, because you're fending for yourself, right? And you are starting to have some kind of a routine in your life. You're still busy, and and absolutely should drop anything if you have an opportunity to have a sales conversation. However, there is a little bit more routine and you're starting to kind of live that more flexible lifestyle. Uh, Shelley saying 1 month since book release and sure is taking some energy and scheduling. I've been working 7 days and long hours, networking, emailing, interviews. That's exactly what life looks like in those 1 to 3 years, Shelley, and you're exactly in that space as well. There you go. So lots of actions. There you go. Learning a lot. You're spending a lot of time learning, by the way, as Shelley's saying, watching and learning from all kinds of master classes and working Facebook. Yeah. So a lot of things happen in those 0 to 3 years, and by you writing this whole post here, Shelley, and it looks like you're doing a lot. You're doing the right things. I can't tell you anything more. This is exactly, if you meet any other people, not just me, who've been in business 10 years plus, they will describe the same kind of actions and things that are necessary. And this is why they say not everyone's cut out for business, because not everyone is willing to go through those things and consistently. By the way, Shelley, this is the stuff that has to be consistent over a significant period of time, to really like get that rocket off the ground, which is what you're wanting to do with your book and your business. Awesome. All right, so let's move on to the last one, which is 7 years plus. And this is where, really you're coming into a maturity, into more of a mastery of your business. So you probably do have really great brand awareness, and people have heard from you or about you around the place. You kind of, you've stayed the course. There is structure, there is systems, there's more boundaries, there's weekends off, there is public holidays off, and Christmas break. Actually, this is the first year, so 10 and a half years in, we are going to shut down for 2 weeks over Christmas. Yeah. So I think it's going to be like from the 22nd till the 4th or 5th of January, 22nd of December, like a full blackout period where we're not going to, be answering emails and doing things like that. This is the first year. Otherwise, we've always been on any business, like, the last year and a half, 2 years, we brought in and out of office that gets put on from 5 p.m. on Fridays and goes through to 9 a.m. on Mondays. So again, putting the boundaries, having the weekends off, because when you're an entrepreneur and you're working from home, it's so easy to kind of go, oh yeah, I'll just answer this email and all that sort of stuff. And then what starts to happen is the ping pong effect of emails, which is no good for your family to go, hang on, I've got to answer someone. So it's really important, that you bring back that routine, and when are you available, when are you not, but why you also are able to bring in these things at this stage of the game is because most likely you have even more help. You actually have a team, and a team that's responsible for different parts of the business. Okay, so example, Stuart in our business is marketing, copywriting, lead generation, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm, the main trainer, the face of the business, the sales. By the way, Stuart does sales as well. Vivi's the publications manager, customer service. Julie's now publications assistant to Vivi. And they're both techie, like setups, and they have their own roles. Lindy in the Philippines, she's event coordinator now. Her niece and sister-in-law are doing some of my Amazon bestseller research and all that kind of stuff. So everyone's got a role as to what their responsible roles and responsibilities within the system. Yeah. So the team is in place for various roles. So therefore, everyone has their own stuff that they're taking care of. Yeah. So systems are solid, and you do have a signature system, or what you're doing and what your business provides, what problem it solves. So that's what happens at, generally when you get to that 7+ years in business. You can set those solid boundaries of when you work, when you want to work, and when you don't. You can set up that, out of office. I mean, it's really, really important, that we are always, training others how to treat us, and absolutely you can take some off periods off your business, and live the lifestyle that you envisioned why you started out in business, which is the flexibility and being able to work from anywhere. No desperation for sales, because referrals and paid ads are doing the hard work for you. Okay, so generally, If you've done a great job by the time you're 7 years plus in your business, you are getting a lot of people introducing you to others who are interested in what you've got. So you're getting some free advertising, but then you also have the funds to reinvest in your business for paid advertising, which is going to generate the new sales. So that's what's doing the hard work. And actually, networking is not as necessary. Of course, I'm always a big fan of networking and I still do it, but I don't feel I need to do it, only if I want for social purposes and just to connect with people. It's not an essential part of my weeks in the business. Yeah. So no need to network, speak, travel. Like perhaps you've built up your business where you have built enough fame offline that people really know you now also online. So you might need to not travel. And due to the blessing of COVID that it was this year for us, our business completely converted to an online business. And we don't need to ever leave our home, and we'll be running this business from quarantine for 2 weeks, soon, because we are flying out to stay 3 months on the Gold Coast in our new house in exactly 4 weeks' time. And we are going to do the quarantine, but the business not going to stop. We'll still keep everything rolling along, and that's the benefit and the beauty of that flexible lifestyle that we've paid the price to get to it right now. Time is now spent more refining your systems and getting them better. So what's working, what's not working, where are we missing something that, it's a glitch or whatever that you need to fix up in the business. So that's where I'm spending all the time, like going, how can I do things even better, faster, more professional, all that kind of stuff. Building high level collaboration. So now you've got the power of your network that you can build high level collaborations with other people who have big networks, and all of a sudden, hey, there's the referrals, there's the paid advertising, and the high level collaborations with all of a sudden, again, scale the business really, really rapidly from here on in. And you can actually relax and enjoy a beautiful lifestyle and a very rewarding career, be able to, and then people are going to say that you became an overnight success and it took like 10 years. It's so easy for you. That's when some people say, oh, it's okay for you. It's really easy. You've got this and you've got that and da 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 da. But they weren't there to watch the whole journey. And as Shelley said, no one's going to know the things you have been doing right now when you come through with your success, in a few years' time. And you can turn up, they'll say, oh, Shelley, but it's okay for you, because you've got this, and now, someone's supporting you, or it was like that. And they're going to start making all of those excuses around why it's so easy for you. But it's never like that. People want to have what you've got. They've got to do what you've done. Yeah. So really, really important to remember that. So what do the working hours of an entrepreneur look like at 7+ years? Actually, they're very, very, it's come full circle to probably a normal 9 to 5 day, normal business hours, just doing the things that you love doing, having the team there, to be able to oversee stuff, and really just having a good flow and regular activities and clients coming in, and that's just kind of a well-oiled machine where you can switch off and take some of that time, as you need and want. And your calendar is, my whole year next year is already planned. Everything is just kind of in place, and there's not a ton of flexibility because it's just set and it works. It really works. And of course, if something doesn't, or something surprises us, we work around it and we remain solution focused to get through it. And the mindset is super strong, because it's done this problem solving for now 10 years plus, and that's where that 10,000 hours, is. So I hope this has been giving you a little bit of an overview of what it looks like, feels like, and what to look forward to, but also where you need to put in the work, and where you need to put in the effort and the time and the hours, and what you need to get through. And it is, as I said, not for everybody. And some people are going to choose, you know what, no, I'm just not cut out. I'm happy to work for someone and build my wealth in a different way by setting aside and planning and investing and all that kind of stuff, because you can be successful and financially secure and independent even if you are an employee and have a day job, as long as you invest your and save and what is it, spend less than you, sorry, save more than you earn. I don't know what the saying is, you know what I mean. You spend what is it, you live below your I don't know what those words are. Oh, some of my finance people can tell us what the saying was. My brain's now locked up. All right, I'm gonna go into my authors group and talk to them about book related wisdom. Have an amazing week. Go and smash it out, and I'll connect with you guys next Monday. See ya. Bye.